Hi guys, I'm Dr. Tara Tobias. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. As promised, this is part 2 to the video that I uploaded on Thursday talking about foot drop. And I had mentioned in that video that in today's video, we were going to go over how to carry this over into function, or how to carry it over into stepping, standing and stepping, and then also some alternative treatments. So that is the game plan for today. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. This next exercise that I'm going to show you, you're going to start standing against a wall. We're working a closed chain position, meaning the foot is on the ground. Instead of bringing the foot up, we're going to continue to work on bringing the leg bone closer to the foot. Again, which is usually a little bit of an easier way to activate that muscle initially. And you're just gonna start leaning against the wall with your left foot slightly back, and then the other leg just slightly forward. With your feet away from the wall, the further your feet are, the leg you're exercising, the further that foot is away from the wall, the harder this exercise is gonna be. So you're basically just gonna lean against the wall, and you're gonna have your left foot back closer to the wall than your right foot. So that foot's gonna be doing the majority of the work. And then you're just gonna come forward off the wall. Just try not to use momentum and try not to push off the wall, but you're basically gonna try and use that ankle, use those ankle muscles to bring your body over the foot. We're gonna take this into kind of a pre-gait activity or a walking activity, but I hope you can kind of see this is a similar movement that you do in walk, that you also do in walking, because when the foot hits the ground, you have to bring your body weight forward in order to take that next step. So it's actually what we call pre-gait activity as well, because you are working a component of the gait cycle or the walking cycle. Once you get good at that with both feet on the ground, you could really challenge yourself, and just like we did in sitting, put the other foot up on a stool or a step. The higher the step, the harder it's gonna be, because now you're really forcing more weight onto that left leg. A lot more control needs to happen, not just in the ankle, but also in the knee and the hip when you do this. And again, there's more weight on it. So those muscles that bring your body over your foot, the ones in the ankle that we've been talking about, it's gonna make it a little bit harder for them to do that. Now, this last exercise that I'm gonna show you, or this next exercise that I'm gonna show you, is now we're gonna start to put it all together. Where people usually notice the foot drop the most is when they're lifting the leg to try and bring the foot forward. The foot does not lift up, the toe either catches on the ground, or people learn how to swing the leg out to the side, or the foot just looks floppy, and some people just don't like the way it looks. I've definitely heard that. They just want to fix it because they don't like the way their walking looks. In any case, now we're gonna work on lifting the foot up while you lift the leg up. You can use a yoga block, or you can use a step, something on the ground in this position to lift your foot up onto. You're gonna lift your foot. We're gonna overemphasize lifting the hip and the knee up. It's not really a normal part of the walking pattern, but again, like I've mentioned before, flexing the hip and flexing the knee, you're more likely to lift that foot up. So if you were to walk like this, a lot of people call it like a steppage gait. It doesn't look very natural when you do it, but again, we're trying to engage those muscles or activate those muscles that lift the foot up, and you're just going to try and set your heel on the step. If your foot's flopping off the other side or dropping off the other side, then this might not be the best exercise for you yet, and I would go back to doing the wall exercise. Remember, you are building connections. You want that brain to build new nerve connections. You wouldn't we learn the same way throughout life. So if you have kids, or you've ever taught kids anything, you're not gonna let them give you the wrong answer to a math problem over and over and over again and expect them to learn the right answer. So it's no different. If you're doing this activity and it's wrong, you're not teaching your brain the correct movement pattern that you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't want to learn that, so that you're not trying to learn. So if your foot's flopping off the end or you can't do it, go back to the wall exercise. But if you can do it and you can lift that foot up and just tap that heel, now you can work on stepping all the way over the block and still just tapping your heel. A lot of times, if you've had foot drop for a while, your toe hits the ground first when you're walking. And so you need to relearn how to make initial contact with the ground with your heel. So stepping all the way over the block and just tapping your heel down on the ground is a great way to carry over everything that we've just gone over into a normal walking pattern. So these are not all the exercises you can do. I just chose a few of my favorites. Another thing that is really, really valuable is neuromuscular stimulation. So a lot of you are familiar with that because I get a lot of questions and comments about it. It is definitely has a huge value when performing these exercises. And what the E-stem does is it basically sends the electrical impulse to the muscle to get it to activate. And if you time that with your exercises, you really are teaching that brain that when I want to do this, I want this muscle to fire. And so you're making that connection. Your brain is making that connection. It's also important to note that they do make functional stimulation units, and these are amazing. I have one in my clinic that just has a trigger switch on it. So basically I can walk alongside you and just turn the stim on when I want it to come on. So when you get to walking, and that's why it's called functional, when you get to walking, we can time it. So we can retrain your brain that during this part of the walking cycle, we want that muscle to come on, we want that foot to lift up. So that is great. But they also have two great products out there now, or two great companies out there, Walkaid and Bioness, that actually have built this technology into a little cuff that you just wear on your leg. I don't have any relationship with either company, but I personally like the Walkaid device. I like the technology that it uses to trigger the E-stem. And then I'm also going to show a couple of pictures of some really cheap braces or products that you could buy on Amazon. Again, this is only for people that have a true foot drop or a mild spasticity. They're very minimal braces or kind of assistive type of supports that will actually help to lift the foot up. One is like what we call posterior leaf splint. The reason it's better than a full brace is it's not as rigid, so it's still going to allow your ankle to bend and go through the normal walking pattern, but it's got a little bit of support in it that it'll help give you just a little bit of assistance to lift that foot up. Then they also have these things called drop foot straps, which I really, really like. Again, this is if you have mild spasticity. You cannot do this. If you have any spasticity that points your foot down, this strap will not work for you. But it basically just lifts the foot. You strap it to your shoe and you strap it to your ankle. It's great because the piece stays in your shoe, and so you just basically unclip it when you want to take your shoe off. It's really great, but it only provides a little bit of help. So if you have absolutely no movement at all, and that is it. So I hope you all found this valuable. As I stated in the last video, if this fits you, this describes you, go ahead and put hashtag foot drop in the description below. That'll just help me to know that there's more people out there, or more people that have subscribed to this channel that actually have a true foot drop, and I'll try and do more videos around that. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave those in the comments below. I definitely keep a list of everything. I definitely am going to do one on stairs because I've gotten that comment a couple of times. Also, I hear you about tagging the leg that is the affected leg. I'm working on it. I have done a couple of videos where I've done it, and the thing, whatever I put on there, it moves and it falls off and it just becomes more of a distraction. So trust me, I hear you. I know that it's a problem. So I'm gonna try, and I'm trying to make something right now that's gonna stay in place and that I'm not gonna have to keep adjusting when I'm actually demonstrating the exercises. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm putting a link in the description below if you want to sign up for my newsletter. I send about one newsletter out a week, and I usually do some tips on how to stay motivated and on track when you're dealing with any type of neurologic condition. So I highly encourage you to sign up for that. I get good feedback on them, that people really like the tips that I give in there. So link for that's in the description below. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. As usual, if you're 1% better today than you were yesterday, you are on the right track. So congratulate yourselves and just keep going, because you're doing the work and you're seeing the results. And that is it. I thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, and you all have a great day.